And then you work with parents as early as possible in kids' lives. So let's talk about baby and toddler food introduction. What do you recommend for people in the audience today who have babies and toddlers and they really want to get off on the right start? Like, I think we feel so much pressure about feeding our kids. So, what should they do? Are there guidelines? How many foods? How do they use their senses? Can you give us a little
Sure.
tip for the parents of that age group?
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. In my book, Baby Self Feeding, I talk a lot about the importance of doing what fits for you. And a lot of parents want to know, do I start with solids? Do I skip purees? Like, there's so much information out there. I want you to do what works for you and for your family and your mealtime culture. Keep in mind, though, that purees have a purpose, especially from an oral motor standpoint. Personally, what I recommend to parents, what they want to follow, I'm going to support them on as long as it's a safe method of feeding. But what I recommend are starting with some purees because purees are a thickened liquid. And we know for sure, as a certified speech language pathologist, that being able to swallow more of a thickened liquid like a baby food smooth puree helps kids develop a safe swallow pattern so that they don't aspirate and they're less likely to choke. Another way to think about that is as we get older and we may be in an assisted living situation or have some difficulty with swallowing, do you know what one of the first things we do for that population is? We thicken their food a little bit, or we thicken their drinks actually with maybe the nectar thick, not too thick, to help them manage and swallow food safely. Likewise, babies can learn the same way. And that's one of the purposes, just one, of purees. Purees are also great because they encourage the kids to get messy. We want kids to get messy because we want them to experience food with all of their senses, especially the tactile system in their fingers, their hands, and of course, their mouth. But on the other hand, shortly after introducing purees, and I mean maybe a couple days later, keep up with the purees, but I really want the kids to have some squishables, like a nice soft piece of avocado, to squish in their hand and experience all of that input and mouth it a little bit. They'll probably push it out, but they may swallow some. And having those purees helps them with that introduction to how to start to smash food and propel it back.